Hello, my name is Anthony Butler, and I'm going to be giving you a short demonstration of how to access Zoho Analytics and use some of the really powerful features available in the platform. Zoho Analytics is a really powerful business intelligence platform, and it is really quite easy to set up new dashboards, make them available to a broad range of users, and use them day to day. So in this video tutorial, I'm going to be explaining how to log in to start with, access workspaces, use dashboards, including a range of features such as applying filters, drilling down into data, changing chart types, and a range of functions like that. So by the end of this tutorial, you should be clear about what you can do with Zoho Analytics, how you can access it, and start to feel comfortable with interacting and using the platform. And this video has been designed so that you can watch this as many times as you like, so that you get really proficient with its basic features. I'm going to be creating a separate video tutorial to explain how to use the more advanced features, but for now, let's stick with the basics. So to start with, we need to go to analytics.zoho.com. Now, for some organizations, they've chosen to be in the Australian data center or another country data center, in which case you might enter AU if it's Australia, or the other country code if relevant. So to sign in, for me today, I'm going to be signing in with a different account, just to demonstrate some of the features available. So firstly, you enter your username and your password, fairly standard functionality if you've got an account. If you don't have an account, you need to reach out to the relevant IT admin and request for an account to be set up. You will receive an email such as this one, where you will be welcome to Zoho Analytics, been invited by this user, and all you need to do is click on the click to accept hyperlink, and it will open up a window similar to this one where you will set up your account with the relevant password. Then you can sign in and your password that you've set, and then when you open up Zoho Analytics, you will get access to all of the workspaces that you've been granted access to. So you can see here I've got quite a few here. These are the ones that I've set up as part of this company, and for you might have access to one workspace to start with. If you don't have access to a workspace, then the admin or the power user will need to give you access to the specific workspaces. Now, a workspace is really a collection of dashboards and reports. So it might be human resources, or it might be finance, or it could be customer information. They can be quite large or quite discrete, so it's really up to the organization to determine what's the best way to set up workspaces. What I'm going to be doing today is showing you a generic workspace based on publicly available data relevant to Australia. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because quite a few of the dashboards that Emergent creates for clients contain quite confidential data. So rather than showing you dashboards relevant to your specific organization, I'm going to be demonstrating how the functionality should be used generally by users. So we're going to be looking at occupations in Australia. Now, this is a really good example because there are so many different ways that we can view data about occupations or jobs in Australia. So it's going to be a really good way to understand how to utilize the features and functionality of the platform, and then you can start to apply the processes and the functions to your specific use cases. So firstly, now this is a note. Once we've actually given you access to specific dashboards, once you're comfortable with how to access them, you would typically bookmark them so that you can come straight into the dashboard and view it without having to click multiple times. So to easily see the dashboards that you've got access to as a user within this workspace, click on Dashboards on the left, and then we're going to select the relevant dashboard. Now, I have got extensive access and permissions within Zoho Analytics, so some of the things that you can see that I can do, you won't necessarily be able to do, but we're not going to be touching on those sort of features in this tutorial anyway, but this is just a word of caution. So firstly, we've set up two dashboards. One is occupations in Australia for computers, for PCs essentially, and the other one is just a bit tailored for mobile devices. We're going to be looking at occupations in Australia. That's an important note. So Zoho Analytics has an application available for mobile device, which is brilliant because when you are on the road, when you're around the office and you don't necessarily want to be at your computer, you can access really quite extensive data and be informed as you go, as you move. So you can see this one. Zoho Analytics dashboards are typically arranged like this. Filters up the top, KPIs just below. You can change the order, but that's the way that we like to do things at Emergent. Then you might have a heading, and then graphs. Now some of these graphs may have specific filters, so you can see that this is defaulted to average income top 40%. We can change this to top 10%. Untick that. So that has refreshed. So filters up the top, and these can be set in any way you want. So we can say we want to view chief executives and general managers. The KPIs, if they've been set up correctly, they will refresh to align with the filters that you've set. We might want to see Chief Executive Officer. And so that's what we'll set for now. We can see average taxable income, 121,000, whereas the median income for Australians, 89,000 in 2020. So we've got here the minimum and the maximum, and the total number of people that fall within this occupation type. Then we've got the different charts. So we've got charts, like bar or column charts, tables, and this is all filtered for specifically chief executives. And then we've got other charts that are relevant. And then you can see here we can set up the charts to really show any information that we want. We can see there are taxable income ranges that we've set up here, 120 to 140k and 180 to 200. So that's really quite interesting that there's not a broad array, it's more lower and higher. You can see here also that we can actually set thresholds. So we're consistently showing in this dashboard a threshold for the median income in Australia, which is 89,000 per annum. We can also see gender distribution, and we can also change the chart type that we've got here. So that's really a bit of an overview of the general presentation, the functions available in the platform. As a power user, I can do things like changing the themes, setting up sharing alerts, a whole range of functions like that. But for now, let's stick with the basics and we will go through this together. Now typically, so clicking on share, URL/permalink. Now the reason why I'm getting this is because many users will access a dashboard in this way. So we can, I'm in Google Chrome, we can bookmark this tab so that we can easily get to it later. So we go occupations in Australia, and if I show you this, yes, in a new tab, I can go straight to that dashboard. Very convenient. So we've looked at filters, and we can select any that we want to. Let's go with a specific occupation or a range of occupations. So we can untick everything and we can go with consultant. So let's select any that are relevant to us. So let's say that we are interested in consulting in the financial space. Well, that might be financial investment management. So you can see that I've done a search and it was bringing back anything that contains that string. Okay, so just for the sake of this, I'm going to select 3. I know that the third one that I'm selecting is not relating to financial consulting, but just to show you capability. So these KPIs have refreshed according to this. We can also say we actually want to see female. So 30,000 total or thereabouts, but 10,000 female. So approximately 33% are female in these occupations. So we can see we'll select all, average income. So we can see each of the occupations and the color coding has been set up so that occupations which fall below a certain range are marked in light red or dark red. And we'll remove the filters and so you can see that later on. So we've got table format here, other charts, graphs. We can hover over and interact with any of these. So we can say, let's remove the gender. Okay. So we can see visually the difference. This is average, okay? Average across all of the occupations that we've selected. Quite a disparity there, quite concerning. Now that we've deselected, we're showing all sexes, we can see the spread of income brackets across the board. There's generally 16.6% across each of these brackets, other than 80 to 100k. Really, really interesting. Now, so we've looked at interacting with the filters. We have looked at the different chart types. We've looked at specific filters for a graph, a chart. But what I now want to do is actually show you that if you are interested in a specific graph, you can maximize that so that that's all you see. Now, when you have got this on a larger screen, there's a whole range of things that you'll be able to do that we really are not seeing right now because of the small resolution that I've set this up for the broad range of people that might use this video. Okay, so we've got that graph, we're focusing on this graph. we minimize it. Okay. Then what we can do is we can click on anything of interest and then drill down by something, by a data entity, data field, or we can view underlying data. Now, if we view underlying data, we can actually see some more information relating to that data point. Okay. So there's really some good information there. When you are viewing data, you can filter and sort, which is really relevant when you've got lots of data, or you can click on more and export to CSV, Excel, or these other file formats. And you can view directly within Zoho Sheet, which is similar to Excel online. If you've got a lot of data as well, you can go to the first record and the last record, quite convenient. Let's close that and go down to this table format. So again, we can change the chart type if we wish, but having table formats really can be quite useful. Now we can Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you if we drill into this sub-major group average, what we can do is on an axis, we can actually change the axis. Okay, so we want to, instead of unit group, we want to view occupation. Okay, doesn't change the dashboard or the graph at all. This is only for your purpose at this time. The only time that any of these adjustments that you might make change the dashboard is if you specifically save it with permission. Okay, so that's how to change an axis. Okay, now what I might do is click on this and view the data. Okay, I'm going to remove all filters. So reset, so we've clicked on the reset button at the top. And now we can see large volumes of data. So let's look at the highest percentage. So the highest percentage of income is between 40 and 60,000. So that's about 30% of all occupations. It's not saying that 30% of Australians receive that pay, but 30% approximately of occupations are typically falling within that income range. It's an important difference to note. So we can see that in this table that we're viewing, there are 691 rows. We can go to the last, we can go to the first, we can sort by, so whichever column you've got selected, what you can do is you can actually click on the sorting on the right hand side of the column header. Okay, you can sort here as well, so we can remove sorting, we can change the sorting to ascending or descending. Okay, play around, it's not going to break anything. We can filter. Okay, so we can change this to, we want to view anything containing farm or does not contain equals or is not, contains. So if we want to do a more complex string, it would be in, not in, so on. Empty, not empty, so on. Okay, so we apply this. And we can see that we've got 41 now. 41 items which meet our filter criteria. What we can also do, this is not to be ignored, we can quickly filter for or search for farmer. So farmer, this will search the various columns. If we search for ALE, that string is contained in male, female, and various occupations. So it's going to come up with a very large list. So you can basically, what I'm really saying is you can search for anything contained in this table. So you can see that it doesn't search number columns, so 905. What you need to do if you want to search for numbers is you set a filter, and you might say it's between these numbers. Okay, so that's another thing to do. Let's close that. Now, they're really the basic functions of Zoho Analytics. That's a fast tour of the platform. Now, there are a range of things that we'll touch on in future videos, such as setting up email schedules, setting up alerts, exporting the reports into different formats, and setting up user access and areas like that. So for now, we will wrap up shortly, and I hope that that's been valuable to you as you increase your knowledge of and comfort with Zoho Analytics, the business intelligence platform that you'll be using. Thanks very much.